This is Rummy's Corner. Coming up on December 1st at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, in a heavyweight championship bout that will be televised on Showtime pay-per-view. Undefeated WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder will put his title on the line against undefeated lineal heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Over the last week, Wilder and Fury were promoting their bout in a 3-city tour that saw a lot of theatrics and a lot of trash talking. I'm not especially interested in all the pre-fight build-up because I'm really just interested in seeing the big fight itself. But I do hope that Wilder and Fury help generate a lot of fan interest during the build-up because I honestly believe this can potentially wind up being a really good fight. So who will win this epic clash of undefeated heavyweight titans? I'm honestly not sure, and that's part of what makes this such a fascinating matchup in the first place. There are basically two main schools of thought here. On one side you have those who believe Wilder will win by knockout, and on the other side you have those who believe Fury will win by a decision. We have long known that Wilder has incredible punching power which gives him the ability to knock anyone out. Wilder may have some glaring technical flaws, but so far he's made up for that with tremendous athleticism and devastating raw power. In Wilder's most recent bout against Luis Ortiz, he also proved that he can overcome adversity and carry his power late into the fight. And Wilder also exhibited much better than advertised punch resistance and recuperative powers. Wilder answered an awful lot of questions against Ortiz, and he once again proved that the power is real. Fury is more of a clever tactician who frustrates his opponents with excellent movement and intelligent tactics. At his best, Fury was able to completely neutralize the potent offense of longtime champion Vladimir Klitschko. Fury had Klitschko in a constant state of confusion, where Vlad was always guessing and he was very reluctant to throw. Following that victory, Fury had a long stretch of inactivity, but after the long break, he finally had 2 fights this year. The most recent against Francesco Pianeta, where Fury showed notable progress and appears to be on the right track for his showdown against Wilder. Before I go any further, in the name of full disclosure, I have officially picked against Wilder 3 times previously. The first time was in 2013 against Sergey Lihovich. Next was in his first bout against Stavern in 2015, and the last time I picked against Wilder was when he faced Chris Arreola in 2016. So Wilder has proven me wrong and exceeded my expectations of him on multiple occasions. And in that last bout against Ortiz, I was all around thoroughly impressed with the heart and determination. Not only is Wilder much better than I previously believed, but he also seems to be steadily improving his craft. And for Fury, I officially picked against him just once, where he ultimately dethroned long-reigning champion Vladimir Klitschko. I actually did pick Fury to win his first bout with Chisora, but I'm not bragging here. I normally suck at predicting fights. And the main reason I picked Fury in that one was because Emanuel Stewart had said something before the fight that convinced me Fury was far more skilled and determined than most tended to believe at that time, myself included. Emanuel had actually trained Fury for a brief spell around that time, and even after they parted ways, there was something about the way Emanuel was still praising Fury that reminded me an awful lot of the way he used to praise a young Vladimir Klitschko way back when Stewart was still training Lennox Lewis. In any case, I think the 2 big questions going into this contest are number 1, can Wilder find a way to land his devastating power shots? And number 2, if he can, how well will Fury stand up to the power? A lot of people I see lately are mentioning the knockdown Fury suffered at the hands of former cruiserweight champion Steve Cunningham. And it's a fair point, but I think it should also be noted that this was the same line of reasoning that many people were using, myself included, when we incorrectly picked Vladimir over Fury. The main difference between Vladimir and Wilder is that Vladimir had a big advantage over Wilder when it comes to technical skills, And Wilder holds a big advantage over Vladimir in that Deontay is far more unorthodox and unpredictable. Klitschko was always very methodical in his approach, so it was probably far easier for Fury to predict what Vladimir was going to do next than it will be for him to predict Wilder's next move. That's Wilder's biggest advantage here going in, is that he delivers his devastating power in often peculiar ways that are difficult to see coming. But the flip side to that is that Wilder is not as skilled a tactician as Vladimir. If Wilder finds ways to regularly land his power shots, then this will probably wind up ending with Wilder winning, but not necessarily by stoppage. Wilder doesn't need to stop Fury if he can find ways to consistently land the right hand. And of course, if Wilder lands enough big right hands, and they land flush, then this thing will probably end in a knockout win for Wilder. It's important to reiterate that Wilder carried his power very late against Ortiz. That means, even if Wilder is getting thoroughly outboxed, and the majority of the rounds turn out to be a nightmare for him, he still has that game-changing power that gives him a fighting chance for as long as the fight lasts. Fury's most recent performance against Pianeta is something that I believe is incorrectly being dismissed by many. Fury certainly didn't look as good as he had 3 years earlier against Vladimir, but he looked a lot better and much sharper than he did in his previous match against Sefery. Fury seemed to be working on a little bit of everything against Pianeta. He was fighting effectively from the outside, battling it out in close quarters on the inside, working his punches both upstairs and downstairs, and he was even doing some work out of the southpaw stance. Fury was working on a lot of different aspects of his game, and despite testing out these various different looks, he was still more or less in complete control throughout the entire fight. While Fury isn't known for having great power, he's usually got enough pop to keep his foes honest. Most people think Fury's only chance of winning is by decision, but Fury is a good counterpuncher in his own right, and with Wilder having a bad habit of frequently being off balance and out of position, Fury may be able to catch him with something he doesn't see coming if Wilder overextends or gets careless. So for my official prediction, I honestly believe this is a 50-50 pick'em type of fight if ever there was one. I honestly have no idea who's going to win, and that's the main reason I'm so fired up to see this fight. I'm on the fence here, but if I had to make a pick and give one guy a slight edge, and I might even change my mind in the coming weeks, but right now, I tend to give that slight edge to Tyson Fury, and here's why. Tyson Fury is typically proven to be very difficult to hit, and especially difficult to hit flush. And Fury also usually excels when it comes to neutralizing his opponent's greatest strength. For Vladimir, that was his jab. Sure, sometimes Vladimir has been known to throw a lead right or a lead hook, but for the most part, everything about Vladimir's potent offense usually started with his jab. The main reason I believe Fury was able to beat Vladimir so easily is because Fury completely neutralized that jab. Against Wilder, and I'm just speculating here, I tend to believe his primary focus will be shutting down Wilder's right hand, even if that means getting clipped with some lefts here and there along the way. I think Fury will be willing to lose if Wilder can find a way to beat him with his left hand. Wilder does work off the jab more often than not in order to open up his offense, but his jab really isn't used in the same type of way Vladimir used his. I think Fury will be able to largely neutralize Wilder's right hand, but more importantly, I think he will be able to capitalize whenever Wilder overextends or makes a mistake that leaves him out of position. So for my official pick, I am going to go with Tyson Fury by unanimous decision. But I don't think it will necessarily be easy. I think Fury will be able to build off the tactical success Ortiz had going on at times against Wilder, and I think Fury will be able to largely neutralize Wilder's big right. Now, if I'm wrong, and Wilder can land that right hand with any sort of regularity, or the truth is it may only take one good shot, but if he can land that right consistently, then Wilder will almost certainly win, proving once again that I don't know shit about boxing. But whatever happens, I honestly cannot wait to watch this fight, December 1st, 2018, being broadcast by Showtime Pay-Per-View. I really think this could wind up being an awesome fight. May the best man win, and hopefully we get a decisive winner, and hopefully, after that, Anthony Joshua will square off against the winner sometime next year. So who do you think will win the December 1st showdown between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed, and have a great night.